Sports fans, PB&Z Sports Chaos. And guess what? We got PB live on the beach down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida with his boy Freddie. What do we got going on down there? Oh, nice. I like it.
Oh, it was raining a few minutes ago, but we were able to actually be here in Fort Lauderdale live.
Oh, fantastic. We got the producer, Valeska. Awesome. Love it, love it, love it. All right, let's get right into this, sports fans. First thing, before we get into our football show, all about the Super Bowl and the NFL awards tonight, I got 3 quick announcements for you. Dustin Predoia, Red Sox legend, you know him, PB, the Laser Show. He formally announced his retirement this week. I'm going to miss that kid. He was a great, great player. 2-time World Series champion. Technically, he has 3 rings, but he only played in 2 of them. 2007 Rookie of the Year. 2008 MVP, 4 Gold Gloves, 4-time All-Star. If it wasn't for that puke Manny Machado kicking him in the knee, he'd still be playing. Anybody in San Diego, if you see Manny Machado, please kick him for me. Hey, NBA is going to have an all-star game, PB, after all, but a bunch of the stars are pissing and moaning. I got one thing to say to them. If you don't want to play, just say no, right? Come on. All right. By the way, I heard this one. The Dodgers, we thought the Padres were catching up. The Dodgers signed Trevor Bauer. Guess what? Checkmate for the Dodgers. All right, let's get into the NFL. PB, I got a question. We're going to talk about Super Bowl momentarily. Is Andy Reid one of the 3 best coaches in the league, in your opinion?
At this present time?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say yes for sure.
Over time, has he been one of the 3 best coaches in the last 10 years?
What's that?
Has he been one of the best coaches over the last 10 years?
No.
Okay. All right. I got a question for you before we get into our honors talk. The quarterback carousel took place. It started this week. Stafford was traded from the Lions to the Rams for Jared Goff, 2 number 1s and a 3rd-round pick. You were on record as saying Jared Goff is a joke, correct?
I'm not sure I can hear you. It's windy down here on the beach, but I'll tell you right now, Jared Goff is not the answer for Detroit.
Jared Goff is a joke. That's what you said, I believe.
All right, real quick, gentlemen. Jared Goff, he's a number 1 overall pick. He was a Pro Bowler in his 2nd year. He started the Super Bowl in his 3rd year. Only 7 quarterbacks in history have started the Super Bowl in 3 years or less. There's 55 Super Bowls. Hard to say he's a joke when he did that. Oh, by the way, I got one question for you. Is Alex Smith a joke?
Borderline.
You just said Andy Reid is a great coach. You also said Sean McVay is the reason why Jared Goff got the Super Bowl. Alex Smith never got the Super Bowl with Andy Reid. What do you say about that?
All I got to say is, what do you think Detroit's going to do next year, Ross? Really?
Oh!
It doesn't matter. What are the Rams going to do?
Aaron Donald is the reason why the Rams went to the Super Bowl. And Todd Gurley had a great year that year.
There you go. Todd Gurley and Aaron Donald. There's your answer. Not Jared Goff.
Woo, woo,
Oh, okay.
woo,
Then Alex Smith should have went to the Super Bowl 5 times by now, right?
Come on, Alex Smith.
Moving on, boys. You got poor responses to that. I'm sorry. Rookie of the Year, offensive this year. Who was it?
What do you got for me?
Rookie of the Year, offensively. Who was it?
Offensive Rookie of the Year, without a question, Justin Jefferson, wide receiver in Minnesota. The guy had 1,400 yards receiving as a rookie, the most for a rookie receiver in the Super Bowl era. No question about it, Justin Jefferson.
You had the first name right. You got the last name wrong. It's going to be Justin Herbert. I already heard that. All right, defensively. Who's the Rookie of the Year defensively?
Defensive Rookie of the Year, it's got to be Chase Young, Washington football team. No one expected them to do what they did. They made the playoffs, and he really helped that defense do some good things. I think they were top 5 defense in the NFL this year, so I got to give it to Chase Young.
I would agree with you. He was the
Wait,
number
wait,
two
wait,
pick.
wait, what do you think?
No, I agree. My themes on some of my picks are taking teams out of the abyss and sort of bringing them up. And Washington was in the abyss for a while. I think Chase Young was a big part of one of the reasons why they sort of came back and been relevant.
I would agree. But he was the number two pick. You expect that, right?
What is that?
By the way, the wild card there, I think, is Antoine Winfield, the defensive back from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
Like him a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about, because they never give a defensive player the MVP. Let's talk about their best award, the defensive player of the year. Who will it be?
For me, I really like what I saw out of Xavier Howard in Miami. Defensive back, a lot of picks, really helped that defense with Brian Flores coaching there. They took that defense to the next level. They were a top defense in the NFL coming out of nowhere. So I got to give it to Howard.
Yeah, I think Howard's great. But, again, I'm taking teams out of the abyss. Look about Cleveland last year, Myles Garrett. Big force on defense and sort of brought them up to, again, making the playoffs for the first time in quite some time.
That's a good one, Freddie. I like that one. I got TJ Watt. That's my pick. All right.
So we got 3 different picks there. All right.
Offensive player of the year. Not the MVP, but the player of the year.
Offensive player of the year has got to be Derrick Henry. I mean, the guy is a beast. Got his team back to the playoffs. Puts up ridiculous numbers as a running back. I just love that guy. Every time he gets the ball, you never know what he can do with it. So I'm going to go Derrick Henry.
I can agree. Only one of 7 guys or 8 guys ever run for 2,000 yards. I agree, Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I think that's the obvious pick, and I like to go a little out of the box. So I'm going to say Stephon Diggs because, again, Buffalo was sort of in the abyss and not really doing anything, and it's going to tie into some of my other picks later on. But I think Diggs really just fit right in and was able to contribute going from the NFC to the AFC. No issues. He had a great year.
I would agree there. I liked him. All right, let's talk coach of the year. The one guy it will not be, I guarantee you, is Brian Flores. Lots of rumblings coming out of Miami. I know you're down there. You don't want to own it, but he's done a poor job with his coaching staff. He's got people leaving. The locker room's divided over Fitzpatrick. It will not be Flores. So who do you think?
But that's who I like. I really like Flores because the team went 10-6. Nobody expected them to have that record. I did expect them to have that record. I thought that would be good enough to get to the playoffs. They did. That team's young. They got a lot of draft picks coming up in the next couple of years. They're just going to build on that, and they're only going to get better. So I take Brian Flores.
What does Freddie say?
Yeah, so I love Brian Flores, but I have a couple of different perspectives. First, I'm going to go with, again, coming out of the cellar and rising up, Kevin Stefanski. Great job in Cleveland. Cleveland was playing well, even though they had a lot of injuries. They had some COVID issues. But also, what about Andy Reid? How hard is it after a Super Bowl and during COVID to come back? And that team dominated all year. He kept that team motivated and pumped up. That often goes overlooked, I think.
Ooh, all right. I like it. I say it's Sean McDermott. I got a funny feeling it's going to be McDermott. All right. MVP. Who was the MVP?
MVP of the year for me is Aaron Rodgers. The guy threw 48 touchdowns. He only had 5 picks. That's an unbelievable touchdown interception ratio. Had 120-something plus quarterback rating. He just had a fantastic year. Threw for 4,300 yards, I think it was, in the end. Even rushed for over 100 yards and had 3 touchdowns on the ground. So hands down for me right now, Aaron Rodgers is the most valuable player in the NFL.
What does Freddie say?
All right, once again, going off the obvious, right? Easy to pick Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to go with Josh Allen, right? Josh Allen really elevated his game this year. Not only were his passing statistics really great, but he had over 400 yards rushing, 8 touchdowns rushing, and really, I think, nobody thought his improvement would be this great over the year and got them to the playoffs. So Josh Allen's my pick.
I like that as well, Freddie. I like that as well. I'm with PB, though. I believe Rodgers will get it, unfortunately.
I think so.
All right. Let's move on. Who do we like going into the Super Bowl? Let's talk about the Bucs, the Chiefs. First of all, Chiefs defense. Give me 2 keys.
2 keys on Chiefs defense. Man, they got to figure out a way to get to Brady. Chris Jones, he's definitely has great skills. Will he be double covered? Can they rush a fifth guy? Can they afford to rush a fifth guy? Is really the question, because you know what happens when you rush 5 on Brady. That means there's an open receiver somewhere on the field. So that concerns me a little bit. But the key to me right now on defense for the Chiefs is their ability to get that defensive line penetrated and get at Brady.
I'm with you. What's Freddie say?
Yeah, similar, but also, Brady can come in with Tampa Bay's offense, come in with 5 wide. You got possibly Gronk, Godwin, Evans, Miller, Antonio Brown. How are you going to cover those guys? So if they don't get the pass rush that PB talked about, they're going to be in trouble, I think.
I will say this, a little fun fact for you gentlemen. In Brady's Super Bowl career, all 3 of his Super Bowl losses, he had 4+ sacks. So go figure. If you get 4 sacks from Brady, you win the game, apparently. All right, Bucs defense. What do you think of the keys for the Bucs defense?
Oh, man. They got to figure out a way to cover Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. I mean, those are the 2 guys that'll kill you. And they're like really, really good players. So I know they're very top heavy and people talk about them being top heavy, but you just got to figure out a way with, you mentioned Winfield earlier, but he can't cover 2 guys, right? So they got to figure out ways that they can get those guys covered. I don't know if man coverage is the answer. They might have to go to a zone, maybe a cover 2 type zone. I don't know how. I don't know. It's just, to me, it's that's the big mystery of the Super Bowl right now.
Freddie, what do you think?
Yeah, so Kansas City's banged up a little bit on the offensive line, and let's look at the last game Tampa Bay played on the defensive line. They were awesome against Rodgers, right? So if they can do that, they can take some of the pressure off their secondary, and I think that'll put them in good stead. But Mahomes is crafty.
Yeah, listen.
Right, and Mahomes can still kill you.
I'm with you guys. I got 2 game plans that the Bucs have to emulate. The 1991 New York Giants versus the Buffalo Bills, who had a great offense, and the 2007 Giants against the Pats. If they emulate that game plan, right?
Yep.
That's the difference. All right, let's talk about offense. KC's offense. What do you think?
It's going to be their offensive line. Can their offensive line give Mahomes the opportunity to get the ball where he wants to get it? I know people will say it doesn't matter because Mahomes, I know once he gets out of the pocket, he's on the run. He's an unbelievable quarterback, has unbelievable statistics with that. But in this game, might be a little different. So just like you said earlier, when Brady gets sacked 4 or 5 times, he loses. I think if they can get to Mahomes and figure out a way to maybe contain him, if they can at least contain him in some way into that pocket and then use that defensive line to get after him at the expense of what right now is considered a weakened offensive line for the Chiefs. So that's the key to me.
All right. Freddie, what do you say? KC's offense, what's their key?
Yeah, so you have Kelce and you have Hill, right? So you need another player for KC to step up. Now, we don't know about Watkins' status. I know he was questionable. So maybe one of those other receivers, Hardman, somebody else, or maybe one of the backs steps up. Edwards-Helaire has a really big game. If they can get a third guy besides Kelce or Hill to step up, I think they're going to be fine.
I'll just say this. If Kelce and Hill run wild, checkmate, it's over, right? That's my opinion. All right. PB, what is Tampa Bay on offense going to do?
I think Tampa Bay needs to balance their offensive attack. They need to keep the ball. They need to prevent Mahomes from getting on the field and that Kansas City offense from getting on the field. So what does that mean? That means they have to have long, sustained drives. They're not going to have long, sustained drives if Brady's just dropping back 40 or 50 times in this game. They're going to have to establish the run game. Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones are going to both have to get the ball and run the ball combined maybe 25, even 30 times in this game. So they need to be effective in that run game in order to keep Kansas City off the field. I know Brady can open up this game and certainly throw the ball, but I think it's going to come down to that run game by Tampa Bay.
Freddie, what do you think? Tampa Bay's offense.
So is Steve Spagnuolo Brady's kryptonite, right? So we got to think about that. He's a defensive coordinator, as you know, for Kansas City. I think what they got to do is not do the Bruce Arians chuck and duck offense, right? Got to go 5 wide, get the ball out of his hand quick, long drives to Paul's point about keeping Mahomes off the field, get good time of possession. I think they'll be fine.
I'll add one other thing. They're going to score early and often. That's the bottom
No
line.
field goals. Yep.
No field goals. Correct. All right, gentlemen, let's do predictions. PB, first with you. What's your prediction?
All right, so I've been thinking about this all week long, literally, and I'm really struggling with it. This is a tough pick, but you know what? I've been bringing you picks all year long. I gotta make my Super Bowl pick, and I gotta be confident about it, and I gotta pick it with my head, not with my heart. And everybody knows I love Tom Brady. I love what he brings to the game, and it's very, very hard to pick against him for that reason. But you know what? When I really take a look at the depth of the Tampa Bay team and their roster and their running game, their passing game, their defense at all levels, I really like what Tampa Bay has. And I think Kansas City is very top heavy. They're going to have to hang their hat on Mahomes and Kelsey and Hill. That's it. Those three players pretty much have to bring home the game. Now, we know Chris Jones. We know the Honey Badger. They can certainly have an impact on defense. But for the most part, they're a very top-heavy team. And for that reason, ladies and gentlemen, with my head, I am going to take, and I said I wouldn't pick against the Chiefs the rest of the year, but I also, in our pregame and our preseason special, picked Tampa Bay to win the whole entire thing this year. So either way, I got to go somewhere, right? I'm going to go Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this game by a field goal, 35-32. That's my prediction. Take it to the bank.
Wow. All right, Freddie, what do you say?
So before this weekend started, I was, I thought the game was a pick 'em. I was going to go with Kansas City, but with the Andy Reid son situation, I think there might be a little bit of a distraction there. Rightfully so, by the way. So that's going to shift my pick towards Tampa Bay. I'm going to go 38-35 Tampa Bay. The key to the game is going to be Tampa Bay's defensive line against the weaker, injury-riddled offensive line of Kansas City.
Whoa! All right. All right, sports fans, guess what? I get to pick mine tomorrow when we do our gambling show with G Money live at our tailgating bar show in Tewksbury, Mass. You'll hear my prediction at noontime tomorrow.
All right. Hey, we're looking forward to that. We'll be on the golf course listening to it. And you know what? We're going to end the show by walking off into the water.
They go to the water, actually.
Nice. All right. PBC Sports Chaos. We'll see you later, fans. Have a great weekend. Super Bowl Sunday coming up tomorrow.